Are you ready? So first question was number 9. Do you remember what these are called? When it's 4 minus 5 rad 3 and 4 plus 5 rad 3? Those are conjugates, right? Or one is plus and one is minus like that, but they have the same numbers. So you have options here. I feel like the easiest option, maybe, not the easiest, the most common option is just to FOIL it, because you can always FOIL binomials like this, okay? But there was a shortcut option. Do you remember what that shortcut option looked like? You would square both of them and then add or subtract? Subtract them. So if you want to try the shortcut, you would take this would be your A, right? You would square it and then subtract. This would be your B and square it and subtract. Now this one, because it has the radical with it, often gets a little confusing for some. So I think I'm just going to FOIL it. You want to FOIL it? Do you want to do the shortcut way? I don't remember who asked this one. Who asked this one? Is that Carrie Anna? No? Do you want to FOIL or you want the shortcut?
FOIL.
Okay. So you would take 4 times 4, right? That's 16. Then 4 times 5 rad 3, what is that? Do you multiply the 4 by both parts? You don't, a 4 times a rad 3, we're not going to make that a rad 12, right? That's not the same thing. But this is a positive 5 times 4, so plus 20 rad 3, okay? Then if you take the inside, it's the same thing, but now this is a negative 5 rad 3, so it's minus 20 rad 3, which is lovely because those just go away for us then. And then this last one is the trickiest. So you have negative 5 rad 3 times a positive 5 rad 3, okay? So if you multiply those together, negative 5 times 5 is a negative 25. Rad 3 times rad 3 is rad 9, right? What is rad 9? 3, okay? Now what I often see done here is people take this as 25 and they add 3 to it. We don't want to do that. What are we doing with the 25 and the 3? We're multiplying, right? They're just next to each other. That implies multiplication. So you have 16, and then this is 25 times 3. So thank you. Oh, Isaac. Anyway, so you're going to take 16 minus 75, right? This is 0. So 16 minus 75 is going to be your value. And when you do that, you get a negative 59. Okay? Good on that? So the option you could have done is a squared, so 4 squared, minus 5 rad 3 squared, right? That would have been the shortcut, which is 16 minus 25 times 3, so 75. So either way, you would get there. I feel like a lot of people just end up foiling because they forget there's a shortcut. All right, this one. When you take a power to a power, what do you do with those powers? Add them, multiply them, what do you do? What do I do with this 16 and this negative 3/8? You multiply them. Yeah. So we're going to multiply by our powers here. If you simplify that, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could think of this. I would probably just I would go negative 3 times 16 divided by 8 is negative 6. So that's x to the negative 6th power. And then do the same thing here, 1/4. And you can just type it in as negative 3/8 times 16. That's just, my brain works a different way, I guess. But if you multiply this 1/4 times 16, that's 4, okay? Negative exponents, what do you do with them? You move it, right? You drop it down if it's in the top, you move it up if it's in the bottom in your denominator. So y to the 4th is going to stay a numerator. X to the -6 is going to be x to the +6 in your denominator. So that will be your answer. Okay. Number 14, f of g of 2. What do you do first, the f or the g? Are you not paying attention to me because you know what you're doing with this? You're making me a little nervous. You got to take a final on this soon. What do you do first, F or G? G, right? You start with the inside one. So you're going to do G of 2 first. Okay? G of 2 is just drop a 2 in. So that's going to be 2 squared plus 2. So G of 2 is 4 plus 2 or 6. Okay, we want f of 6 then. So f of 6 is going to be 3 times 6, right? Now we're just dropping it in right here, plus 1. So 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19, and that is your final answer. Okay, the 6 is just a means to an end. It's going to get us to that final answer. Yes, let's write that down. Questions on that? F of G of or G of F of? You're doing those in the right order. All right, next one. What was our next one? Number 20. So they give you an h of x, they give you a g of x. And it says, what's the value of h of 1 minus g of 3? So you're going to plug a 1 into your h setup. So it's going to be 2 times 1 squared plus 1 minus 5. Okay, that's h of 1, rather. Sorry. And then we're subtracting the g of 1, right? So we're subtracting whatever g of 1 is. And if you want to think of this separately, like find g of 3, find g of 3, and then subtract them. Maybe that's a little bit easier for you to think about. That's fine. I'm going to show you this way, but then I'll show you what they simplify to. So -4 times 3 for our g minus 1. Okay. So let's just simplify. 2 times 1 squared. So is that 2 squared? Or is that 1 squared times 2? What are we squaring there? The 1, right? You're only squaring the 1. So do that first. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So it's 2 plus 1 minus 5. So 3 minus 5 is a -2. Okay, so we get -2 for our h of 1. And then for our, g of 3, simplify that. So this right here, -4 times 3 is a -12 minus 1. So we get a -13, okay? This is -13. So you're doing a -2 minus a -13. What's minus a negative? Well, that's a positive. So -2 plus 13 is 11, which was the C there. We tried to throw in a few multiple choice just to get you in that multiple choice frame of mind too. Any other questions from the chapter 6 stuff? Okay, so here's the deal. Chapter 7 and 8 is a decent chunk of problems, right? 7, you have 20, 8, you have 12, right? So you have 32 problems, which is why I tried to give you 32 this day because you have 2 days to get it done, right? Then on Thursday, you have the block period. So I'll give you a lot of the block period on Thursday to work on Fridays because Fridays is a lot of problems too, okay? But hopefully that means you don't have a crazy ton amount of stuff to do at home. I'm going to give you the rest of the time right now to get started on chapters 7 and 8. That way, if you have questions, I can come around and help you out. But here's my advice to you, okay? If you don't know how to do one, this is part of your final exam. It will be on your final exam. If you don't know how to do it, don't leave it blank. Number one, because it means you're going to lose points toward your final exam when I grade your homework. And number two, it means you're going to be just as stuck when you get to it on your final exam, right? So the idea is, if you don't know how to do something, pull up your notes, check it in your notes, figure it out from your notes. If that doesn't work, then ask me, ask a neighbor, ask a peer, ask someone for help, because I want you to get it, right? We want to have a full understanding of this. So, yeah.